Using the words Tolkien Canon and Prime Video's The Rings of Power in one sentence is a complete and utter disgrace. Well, Salmin Freyond, and welcome to yet another video. Do you want to have a laugh, my dear friends? Me as well. So let us do it right now. So what you can see at the screen is yet another very bad article by ScreenRant.com. And for those of you who don't know, ScreenRant.com is one of the shilliest websites out there and have been as far as The Rings of Prime goes, at least since the very beginning. They are very well known for licking Amazon's boots on every occasion they can. And as the second season, unfortunately, and the last is approaching because the production, the shooting, the recording of the second season has wrapped, they are taking the advantage and publishing more and more low-tier, false, lying articles. And this has been brought to my attention, and it's quite interesting because here we can once again show and prove how much The Rings of Prime is a bad show, and how much further from the source material. Well, can they get any further from the source material when they didn't even approach the source material in the first place? Can it break Tolkien's law? Can we sing Judas Priest song? Breaking the law, with a little bit of different spelling. Can we even sing about it when we know that there is no Tolkien's law in the first place? That it is 100% constructed law made by Amazon with their own original stories? Like the creation of Mordor by a turn of a key, like the fictitious origin of Mithril, and the fact that apparently it contains one of the last one of the last Silmarils, and that it is a life potion to elves and leaves, and that Sauron didn't disguise himself in the form of Anatar, but rather a bloke called Halbrand, and is like a cheap Chinese knockoff of Aragorn, the king of the Southlands, and things like that. I mean, you have to laugh each and every time just thinking about The Rings of Prime. And the latest article is about 11 characters Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Prime Season 2 can use, according to Tolkien Canon. Using the word Canon and Tolkien and Rings of Power by Amazon in one sentence is just a disgrace. But we shall go through them very quickly, through the 11 characters, and say why they can't really appear in the show. And if they do, because I think that one of them is basically confirmed, why they can't do them justice. The same way they didn't do justice to Galadriel, or to Gil-galad, or to Celebrimbor. Uncle Celebrimbor! They made Celebrimbor into a hair salon lady, and Galadriel is the worst, literally the worst representation of any character, any literary character on screen I have ever seen in my entire life. And I have seen some bad adaptations. I have seen some characters being done bad. And you thought, some of you, hey, listen, I am a literature aficionado. I will always take the source material above anything else. I have devoted my personal, my professional, and my academic life to Tolkien and to Old English literature. And I can admit that The Lord of the Rings by Peter Jackson are the films are good adaptations. And some of you are saying that Aragorn yes, he was changed. Faramir was changed. Other characters as well, but nobody has ever effed up a character more than they did with Galadriel, and so on and so forth. So, shall we dig in right away so I don't take much of your time? 11 characters Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Prime Season 2 can use, according to Tolkien Canon. The Rings of Prime Season 1 included many important characters from Tolkien's Canon Second Age, but there are still several more that could show up. So first they mention Celeborn. Yeah, you mean the guy who was supposed to be with Galadriel, almost inseparable. They were. They almost didn't leave one another's side. they did get separated for a brief moment when one of them had to pass through, under the mountains, and the other one didn't. But that's pretty much it. It isn't as if they were separated for a long time like it was in the show. And Galadriel saw Celeborn for the last time when he went to a battle, and she laughed at him and mocked him because the armor didn't fit the Elven Lord. And she called him the Silver Clam. I rest my case. This is, what? Suddenly you want him to appear? Well, he might, but I don't care. Nobody cares. The same goes with number 10, Celebrian, their daughter. At the time of the show, she should have already been born. And she wasn't even... Was she mentioned? I don't even remember. Saruman. Now, I shall dig a little bit deeper with this one and what they wrote. According to Tolkien canons, they say, I quote, screenrant.com, according to Tolkien canon, Saruman didn't arrive in Middle-earth until the beginning of the First Age. That has to be a typo, right? You mean Third Age. The Istari came to Middle-earth at about the year 1000 of the Third Age to aid and help the good peoples of Middle-earth with the fight against Sauron. Now, there's another version of this story in the Unfinished Tales which says that the two blue wizards might have come to Middle-earth in the Second Age. But the Silmarillion, to which they don't have the rights, the Silmarillion clearly states, just go and read it, and there's... I made a video about it, some time ago, so it is on my channel, with the pages from the Silmarillion shown. The Istari, the wizards, came to Middle-earth in the Third Age, all of them. But yes, in the Unfinished Tales, there's another version of the story saying that the two blue wizards might have come to Middle-earth in the Second Age, but the truth remains that the remaining three wizards undoubtedly came to Middle-earth in the Third Age. Right? So there is nothing to be considered here. I'm sorry, really. And even if he did appear, what do you think they would do? They would probably make him fall in love with Halbrand, with Sauron, and that would be the original cause of why of why he wanted to side with Sauron. Actually, that would make sense from the point of view of the showrunners of the Rings of Power. You know that Saruman later in his life called himself the Saruman of many colors. So you've got, a rainbow Saruman who fell in love with Sauron. Kind of clicks in the eyes of the showrunners, I imagine. Number 8 is Radagast. It's the same. It's exactly the same. He only arrived in the Third Age. Number 7 is Blue Wizard. Now that could be the loophole they would find. But then again, they don't have the rights to adapt the Silmarillion or the Unfinished Tales. They can only touch the appendices and have been boasting about it. Oh, we can adapt the notes to the Lord of the Rings. We can adapt the notes, the chapter worth of notes that Tolkien added to the end of his book. Then we can adapt. What could possibly go wrong? Number 6, Tom Bombadil. Ask yourselves, my dear friends, ask yourselves, do you want to see Tom Bombadil being done by Prime Video? Really? Do you want that? Ask yourselves. Reach deep within your souls and ask yourself, do I want to see probably the most favorite book character who didn't appear in The Lord of the Rings by Peter Jackson? Do I want to see him touched by Amazon? Show me, where did Amazon touch you? No. 5, Kamul, one of the ring wraiths. I thought that we already saw ring wraiths in the Rings of Prime. There's a theory that those strange-looking, pale, goth trans chicks are the Nazgul. I hope they're not, but no. That's the same case. Look at what Peter Jackson did with the Nazgul and with the Witch King of Angmar. And the same can be said about the next character that we will talk about. They made them absolutely badass. Now, whatever you think about the adaptation by Peter Jackson, they did them fine. Do you want to see cheap Chinese knockoffs of them? And even if it would still have to be a living human, not a ring wraith yet, obviously. So no, thank you. Number 4, the Mouth of Sauron. What the hell would Mouth of Sauron be? It was only mentioned that he was a dark human in the service of the Dark Lord. And nothing much is known about the Mouth of Sauron, and that's precisely what they want, right? If you think about it, it would actually make sense. That's what Prime Video wants. What Tolkien didn't write. It's always, but Tolkien never specifically mentioned that dwarves didn't have wings. So dwarves can now have wings. Yeah, no, thank you very much indeed. Number 3 is Treebeard. People thought that there would be Treebeard or some Ents in Season 1 because it appeared in the first trailer release to Season 1. Then there was an Ent in the trailer. And that, some people were saying, oh, we're going to see Entwives. Do you want to see Treebeard or Entwives in the Rings of Power? No, you could present any character to me, and I would say the same thing that I said about Celeborn and Celebrian and Treebeard over here and Tom Bombadil, so on and so forth. Anarion is number 2. I think that we've already pretty much established that in the fictitious universe of Prime's Video, The Rings of Power, Elendil only has 2 kids, and that's Isildur and that busty, tittied chick. And not the proper second son of Elendil, Anarion. The one who is depicted on Argonath, along with his brother. Now, you didn't know that, right? Those of you who have never read the books, who have only seen the films, that Argonath is actually Isildur and Anarion. So they might have to change Argonath now and add tits to one of the statues. The Rings of Prime, And what did they choose as number 1? And it's Círdan. Yeah, they did that deliberately, because Círdan has already been confirmed that he would appear in the 2nd season. So they did write him there, so they could later say, oh, we were right, look, we were right. Yeah, you were right, because it had been announced months before you wrote about it. So I'm asking you, what do you think Círdan's going to be like? When they effed up Celebrimbor, when they effed up Gil-galad, they made a complete tool and a fool out of Gil-galad. They messed up Elrond, then they messed up Galadriel. What do you think they're going to do with Círdan? If you want to know more about the details of the atrocities that the Rings of Prime did, go to my channel. Look in my backlog of videos about the Rings of Power, and you will find out, if you don't know already. This is just a short video to make you laugh. And let me know in the comments down below what you think. That'll be all. Namarie.